Welcome. Our next brew is probably not even a brew at all. In fact, it's going to be a wine. Now, not just any wine, we should probably call this a turbo wine because what we're going to do is we're going to use pure apple juice. Now, this one's a nice apple juice, a bit cloudy, but not from concentrate. And we're going to use this apple juice as the base for our spiced apple wine. Now, in addition to the apple juice, we are going to add some flavourings, some spices, and the three spices that we're going to add are a cinnamon stick, we're going to add some allspice berries, and we're going to add a clove. Now, we're going to actually add the spices at the fermentation stage. Now, there is a choice here. You can either add the spices at the fermentation stage, or you can rack it and sort of add it sort of a bit later on. We're going to, for this one, do it right at the very, very beginning, see how that turns out. Now, I accidentally created a wine once before. It was when I thought I was trying to sort of create some cider, having brewed the initial cider, I decided to add cranberries. Now, the addition of cranberries started the fermentation going all over again. The fact that it started all over again resulted in a higher ABV, probably 9% plus, probably 10% plus. And, you know, while there's no exact figure that I could specifically find, there seems to be a rule of thumb that once you're sort of into that over 8% mark, you're sort of heading into wine territory. Now, our goal for our spiced apple wine is going to be 14%. And by itself, we know this apple juice is not going to be capable of delivering 14% alcohol. What we are going to do to resolve that is we are going to add sugar. Now, we can add any sugar. I'm going to add some brewer's sugar just because I happen to have plenty of that lying around, but you can use just granulated sugar as well. And what we're going to do is we are actually looking for a specific original gravity. And that original gravity target, which will be 1.110, is what will give us roughly 14%. Let's give the apple juice a try. That's a very nice apple juice. So let's hope it's going to be a very nice apple wine. So back to our turbo apple wine. The other reason I like this is the speed. So in theory, we are going to ferment this for roughly 4 weeks, and then we are going to sort of rack it. We'll let that settle for a couple of weeks. And then we should be in a position where we can bottle it and let it mature for a little while. So, you know, we should be within 6 to 8 weeks, we would have something that we can try. Now, this is back to my impatience problem. So I will give it a bit more time if we need to. So that is the plan. Now, there's an awful lot of sugar going into this. By my calculation, you know, it could be as up to a sort of a kilogram of sugar goes in, depending on what those gravity readings are. So that's going to be interesting, but all of that sugar, or a significant portion of that sugar, should convert to alcohol. The other is to select a yeast that will go up to 14% roughly. Now, there were a couple of yeasts that I was looking at to choose. The first was the Garvin GV4, and the second was the Mangrove Jack's SN9. Now, first of all, something I like more about the Mangrove Jacks is there's a lot of detail on the back of the packet, and particularly sort of interest is, you know, sort of, first of all, the alcohol tolerance, which for this would take us up to 18%, which is good. We were looking for somewhere in the region of 14, But what I particularly like is it is for best results ferment at the following temperatures, 14 to 28 degrees centigrade. Very, very useful information. No points though go to Gervin for their packs. Now it does say on the front, you know, low foam, very tolerant, high alcohol wine yeast. So far so good. And on the back it says dried yeast, 5 grams. No real useful information on there whatsoever. We'll have to Google that one if we want to learn anything more. Now, however, having done a bit of Googling, you know, this is the one I chose first. This one actually goes up to 21% ABV, which is a bit high. It's not particularly what I'm after, but that doesn't bother me because there shouldn't be enough sugar in my must to be able to sort of go beyond roughly that 14%. I've got enough, I've calculated enough sugars in there to give me a 14% wine. So that is what I expect. However, I will come back to Mangrove Jack in the very near future. Looks like an interesting one for another type of wine very shortly. That's the plan. It's should take about an hour, I think, to sort of get everything sorted out. Perhaps a little bit less. I think there's going to be some toing and froing to get it up to the gravity level that I'm looking for. If I hit that first time lucky, then I think it's rather quick. And if I need to go around that a few times, it's going to require a few hydrometer readings. But that's fine. I'm getting used to the whole hydrometer reading thing. So wish me luck. We've got some very nice apple juice here, soon to be converted into equally nice spiced apple wine.